Now, on the side of our transporters, those who are in the transport business, I don't even need to tell you about our transporters because I believe you're supposed to know about their nefarious activities. I will just tell you their top secret. In the transport line, most of them belong, and if you don't belong, you can't make it in the business, because those who belong will make sure that they frustrate you out of the business with their evil powers so that you don't compete with them. You will keep having problems with your vehicles. It is either the engine knocks today or the vehicle will fall on the way, or it will involve in a fatal accident that will claim lives. Then you will be forced to belong in order to succeed in the business. I am talking mostly about our big time transporters, the luxurious bus transporters and the big lorry transporters, the trailer and the tanker transporters. These people are too devilish. They can do anything to maintain their business. If I tell you how many souls that have died in the hands of these people, you'll be shocked, especially the luxurious bus transporters. Let me open your eyes a little. See how they do it. When they join the secret society, they will make a request and they will be told what to donate to the Grandmaster. And their request is usually something that has to do with making their transport line to be successful and large, so that they will have many luxurious buses that people will start rushing to patronize them. Then Devil the Grandmaster will now tell them what to give to him in return. And as we all know, the devil is always bloodthirsty. He will tell them to make human blood sacrifice, not only one person. They will donate up to 50 people to the devil in return for money. How to get the 50 people to donate is simple. They will set a luxurious bus fully loaded with people, your fellow human being. And on the expressway, the Grandmaster will strike with a fatal accident and take 50 souls instantly. The drivers are not likely to be involved because they know the secret of their bus owners. Therefore, they are always prepared with their own personal charm to disappear from the vehicle into the bush whenever there is an accident. The bus normally will be loaded with extra passengers, that is, attachments, to enable the Grandmaster to have enough people to take from the bus. And this type of thing usually happens during night journeys so that the cause of the accident cannot be detected and will be attributed to dangers of night journey. In most cases like that, the big bus will burn to ashes so as to leave no traces to the cause of the accident. After everything, the case will be closed just like that. And instead of the owner of the bus to go down in transport business or have a little shaking as somebody who just lost one of his few buses to accident, rather his transport business will expand instantly. From having only 4 or 5 luxurious buses, he will buy 20 more brand new buses. He will then tell people stories that he took loan from the bank to buy more buses, or that he bought the buses on hire purchase arrangement. When you and I know that even at that, he cannot buy on hire purchase without paying a substantial amount of money first. And we all also know that luxurious buses are more than expensive. So that is it. And after that, he will now try to reshuffle and rearrange his transport line so that he can build back a good name for himself in the transport business. You know, by now he has gotten money. He has done the sacrifice to the Grandmaster. So he will now concentrate on making a good name. And before you know it, people will forget everything. But it doesn't mean that he will not do more sacrifices later. He will do more sacrifices later, but not like the first one he did for a start. He will be doing some little sacrifices to refurbish the power that gave him money. These luxurious bus owners I'm talking about are so rich today, but if you are not told, you won't know how they made their devilish money. Therefore, when you see them and their bosses, don't envy them at all. They are evil men. Now listen to the advice I have for travelers. For the fact that there is no way you can travel without their buses, especially on far journeys. So what you do is, whenever you want to travel, don't forget to pray first in your house. Then when you get into the bus, and as soon as the bus moves, pray a faithful prayer and cover yourself and the bus with the blood of Jesus Christ against evil, and also the road you are going to fly, especially on night journeys, because that is when the evil spirits are at work. And that is also when these wicked ritualists evoke the evil spirit, the spirit of death, to come and cause havoc on our roads and suck blood. Do you know what is called the spirit of death? Spirit of death is the evil spirit that is evoked whenever there is money ritual. Whenever this spirit is evoked, it must go back with human head or heads. It doesn't go back empty-handed. This is why money-making ritual is dangerous, because once the spirit of death has been evoked out to be sacrificed to with a human head and bring money in return, if unfortunately for the ritualist, the sacrificial lamb, that is the person he wants to use for ritual, is strong spiritually, or is rejected, because it is not everybody's head that works in money-making ritual. So if the person is rejected, it boomerangs on him, and the spirit of death will then take him, because it doesn't go back without a human head. After all, they evoked it out to answer them. So be careful, you that is planning to go and do your money ritual. You can even die in the process if you are not lucky. That is all I have to say on this. Let's go on to other things. Again, it's on the side of our bakers, the bread makers. They are not left out of the game. Their own is even the worst. They produce the food that we eat, yet they engage in all kinds of ritual activities just to see that their bread is the highest sold bread. If I open up to tell you what our bread makers do to be on top in the bread industry, you won't eat bread again. Do you know that some bread you eat today are prepared with human blood? I mean fresh human blood. I will spare them so that there won't be confusion, because a lot of people eat bread every day. One of our cult members, who has a big bakery in Onitsha, uses fresh human blood to produce his bread. Though what they do will not affect or harm anybody. It is to make people buy their products, but the competition and rituals involved are too much. Can you believe that nobody succeeds in the bread industry without soiling his hands? Well, just make sure that you pray before eating anyone you buy, so that God will bless and purify it before eating. I am very sorry for those who don't pray before eating whatever they buy, especially any eatable thing. Any eatable thing that you don't have to cook again before eating. Please always try to pray over things like that before eating, to be on safe side. On this same note, I have a very important message for laborers in a construction company. I mean those who work either part-timely or full-timely with big-time construction companies, especially those who are into bridge construction, usually owned by white men. There are many of them in Nigeria today. Do you know that they are also into serious rituals and sacrifices? Yes, of course. The white men are not excluded. By the time I explain to you, you will understand better. Do you know what these people do? If they want to construct a bridge across a river, I'm talking about the whites who own the big construction companies. Our black brothers who work as their associates don't even know what I'm trying to tell you now. They only work as mere engineers. So whenever the white man wants to construct a new bridge, in order to enable him construct the bridge successfully, he will first of all consult the goddess of that particular river through the help of a spiritualist. You know, they always go with their spiritualist. I suppose you know that there are marine spirits in the rivers as well. The white man will make such consultation with the river goddess in order to know what the river goddess will require of him to do before she can allow him to construct the bridge across that river. Or have you forgotten that the big pillars of the bridge have to stand inside the river? And if the white man fails to make such consultation, he can never construct the bridge successfully. If he does so, the bridge will not stand. It will collapse. So on such consultation, the river goddess of course must require human blood sacrifice. It is not just one person, because the river goddess is very wicked and bloodthirsty. So she requires multiple people. Maybe 20 to 30 people have to die to appease her. Now, do you know how these people are going to be sacrificed? Do you think they are going to be tied and slaughtered one by one to the river goddess? No. The white man will simply employ a lot of laborers and offer a large sum of money to entice them, but unknown to them that they will meet their death in the course of the work, and ignorantly they will be used as sacrificial lamb to appease the river goddess. As the construction work is going on, the laborers will be dying one after the other. It is either one mistakenly falls into the river and get drowned in the river, or block or brick will mistakenly hit and kill the person, or through any other way in the course of the construction work. The laborers will be dying one after the other until the number of people to be sacrificed to the river goddess are completed. People who don't know what happened will think those people died by accident or out of their mistake. And the only thing the white man will do is to give scholarship to the deceased families for consolation, and that's all. So my brothers, if you are to walk in such places, be careful so that you don't die like a fowl. Their salary or wages will be too big, but never mind. But if you must go, remember to always cover yourself with the blood of Jesus Christ on each day of work until the work is completed. If you have worked as a laborer for many years and nothing has happened to you, don't doubt what I said. Rather, be thankful to God and be more prayerful so that nothing will happen to you. If you want to really know what I'm talking about, whenever a bridge construction work is going on, I don't mean a small bridge construction work across a little flowing river. Rather, a long bridge across the sea or ocean. If you observe well, you will see that the white man or anybody in charge wouldn't want to kill any of the sea animals to avoid the wrath of the sea goddess, because he doesn't know if it belongs to the sea goddess or not. Like the crocodiles, hippopotamus, or any other sea animal, he would like to inquire from any of the indigents of that area around to know if they killed the sea animal or not. So that is that. Another thing I will teach you today is this. You should beware the way others touch or beat you playfully, because you don't know who is who. Do you know that some evil people can put something into your body by just touching or beating you playfully, and you will think it is an ordinary joke, and before you know what is happening, you will fall sick and die suddenly. Then people will start wondering, saying, we saw him just yesterday and today he's dead, just like that. People who don't know what killed him will say, who knows his commitment? They will say all sorts of things, and your chapter will close without knowing what killed you, just like that. What I'm saying therefore is that if somebody you don't trust or know very well touches or beats you when there is no cause to do so, even playfully or not, in order to be on safe side, just touch or beat that person back exactly the same way the person did it to you. If there is any evil associated with what he did to you, it will go back to that person at once. If it is sickness that the person wants to put into your body in order to kill you, that sickness will be returned back to that person, and he will suffer and die, and you will live. Don't feel shy if such thing happens, and die in silence. Also, mind how you eat what your neighbor in your compound gives you to eat, or even your neighbor in the market. Many people have gotten into trouble through this. Many people have gotten themselves into what they don't know simply because they ate what their neighbor gave them to eat. Your neighbor may travel to the village and come back with some eatables and begin to share it among everybody in the compound. Mind how you eat things like that, especially when you don't trust that your neighbor. Be very cautious and alert so that you don't get into trouble. The word of today is different from the word of yesterday. The word of today is full of evil and atrocities. Therefore, manage whatever you can provide for yourself and family. After all, there is no eatable thing you cannot provide for yourself and family if you want. Evil people use different means to torment the ordinary people. So when they fail to get you through other means, they will use these simple and common means to get you. They will give you things pretending to be nice, but you will know that there is evil associated with it, like I told you about meat in the first part of this tape. And when you eat it, trouble will set in your life, and you can even die in the process. They will give you things you will never believe could be associated with evil. Some common things like bread, meat, fruits, etc. Don't trust anybody, because you don't know what that your neighbor believes in, and you don't know what he does at midnight when you are sleeping. Trust only yourself. Be careful and be cautious in life to escape evil. I want to also warn people to mind how they open their mouths to say certain words. People say certain words, though out of anger, but they don't know that it means a lot and could affect the person later. For instance, when somebody out of anger, maybe when there is a dispute between two persons, the other person will say out of anger, "Over my dead body will I allow this to happen." Whenever you say such things, make sure you maintain those words. It's quite unfortunate that many people who say things like this don't maintain it. But it is very bad, because if you eventually fail to maintain those words, mind you are bringing death towards yourself. If you have said such things the first time, and you have also said it for the second time and nothing has happened to you, the third time you may not be free. Don't cause your death with your own mouth. Always be mindful of what you say so that you don't bring death upon yourself. I'll give you an instance so that you will understand me well. I like giving instances so that people will understand what I teach. There is this man. His first son wanted to get married to a girl he didn't want simply because she is not from their place. And the man wanted his first son to marry from their village. But unfortunately for the man, his son swore that he would not marry any other person if not the girl. The father then swore and said over his dead body will his son marry the girl. He said that he would not stay alive and watch his son marry that girl. Do you know what happened? As the young man was serious going about his marriage plans, even without his father's support, the father suddenly died. He went to sleep one night very healthy and did not wake up the next morning. His son buried him and still went ahead and married the girl, and they have been living happily since then and blessed with children. The man said over his dead body will his son marry someone he loves, and when eventually his son went ahead to marry the girl, he died. That was what he said, and what he said happened to him. He forgot that there is power in spoken words. The same thing is applicable to those who say bad words to others, especially parents. You know, there are some parents who out of anger say bad things to their own children. Some even curse their children out of annoyance. Mind you, those bad words you say to your child or that curse you place on your child, anytime your child provokes you, will later affect that your child, and you will also be full of regrets later. Some parents don't even know that they are the cause of their children's misbehavior most times, or because of the curse placed on them when they were young. And when they grow up expected to become useful in life, they will rather become useless, and the parents will start asking God why. It is true that children are stubborn sometimes and can provoke parents to say anything, but please don't curse or say bad things to them because of it. Try to keep your mouth in check, at least for the sake of your children's future. No matter what your child does to you, try to keep your mouth in check. Don't release evil upon your child or another person's child, because that child as he grows will change, and he will mature and begin to know good and bad, and will eventually become responsible. Then you parents will enjoy the fruit of your labor. But some wicked parents who derive joy in releasing bad words and placing curses on other people's children, mind yourself, because those curses and bad words you place on another person's child will return to your own child, and you will suffer it. But meanwhile, parents who have in one way or the other, even if it is in the past, if you have said bad words to your children, or that you have placed curses on your children or another person's children, I want to let you know that you still have chances to retrieve those curses you place on your children. Provided you are still alive, you can still break those curses and set your child free from bondage. I encourage parents who have placed curses on their children in the past to make a turn back. Go ahead and break the curse and set your children free now that you are still alive, because if you die, it will be very difficult. All you need to do is just call down your child or whoever it is, renounce that curse and replace it with blessings. After that, pray and bless that your child, and it shall be well with him or her. Now, our young girls and women who use charms to tie men to marry them, listen to me. If you are a young girl and you are planning to use charm to tie your boyfriend to marry you against his wish, or you are already married but you use charm to tie your husband to marry you against his wish, you are foolish, because you have made a very big mistake of your life by doing so. I am sorry for you, because you are going to lose everything at last. And as a matter of fact, you will later suffer very well in such marriage. That native doctor who prepares such charms for you should please tell you the truth and stop fooling you. Because even if it is 20 years after, that is after charming a man into marriage, he will still come back to his senses one day. That charm, of course, will lose its potency one day. And the moment this happens, the man will come back to his senses, and the first thing he will do is to send you packing at once. This is because the marriage is not natural. Remember, an institution like marriage should not be tampered with or influenced with diabolic powers, because it was established right from origin by God himself. Our young men should be very careful. Don't allow any girl you are not married to cook for you, so that you don't get into trouble and ruin your life. Because charms eaten are more potent than ordinary charm. The worst of it is that if you allow yourself to get into this type of mess, you won't even know what is happening to you. You will see yourself submitting totally and accepting whatever the girl tells you to do. And before you realize yourself, you would have spent many years of your life without knowing it or how you spent it. Our young girls should be discouraged from doing such thing because it will never favor them. Young girl, if you try such thing, just have it in mind that you will later suffer seriously because the man will definitely come back to his senses. Then your ordeal and suffering will begin. But then it will be too late to make amendment. Don't be too desperate in the marriage issue. Relax, pray to God to direct you to your own husband so that you live a fulfilled life. Every woman has her own husband. I have a special message to the parents. Parents, please stop allowing your female children to wear sexy dresses so that they will not be used as agents of devil to seduce men into wanting to sleep with them. Some of your daughters have made themselves agents of the devil without knowing it, and even you, the parents, don't know. Young girl, maybe you don't know that most of these sexy wears you put on are manufactured in the marine world, that is inside the water, and sold so cheap to people living on earth, just to use it to manipulate people to turn agents of devil, even without knowing they are. And our young girls buy and wear these sexy wears. Mind you, these clothes are also sold right inside the market, but the sellers might not even know the source of their products, where they are manufactured. So when a girl puts on these dresses, men, boys will be forced to turn and look at her when she passes by. And before you know what is happening, they will call and toast her, and of course she will accept. Then the man will take her to bed, which is what the devil wants. But do you know the funny thing there? Later, when the girl undresses such clothes, she will regret her actions. The reason is that these dresses are manufactured in the marine world in such a way that the moment our girls put them on, they will start feeling sexy and will fall for any man at that point just to have sex with him. The dress will influence them to do so against their wish, and they will come back to their normal senses as soon as they undress. So parents, be careful and protect your daughters. Don't allow them to fall victim of such circumstance because it will also affect you. If your daughter becomes an agent of devil today, she will also turn against you despite the fact that she is your child. Devil will influence her mind and you will see your lovely daughter change into something else. When your daughter puts on something you know that is morally bad and indecent, don't support her so that you don't condone evil. Rather, discourage her so that she will stop it at early stage. And meanwhile, before you buy and wear any cloth, mostly already made clothes, pray over them before wearing them so that every evil associated with it will not affect you in any way. In the first part of this confession, there is something I forgot to say concerning those who want to join the secret society newly so that they will start making money like others. Listen, young man, in case you are thinking of joining the secret society, let me warn you. Some of the old and executive members of secret society cheat on the newly initiated ones and use their lifespan to renew their own life. Even the person, that person, your friend that is initiating you, can cheat you and use your own lifespan and add to his own. You won't even know. Then shortly after joining the secret society, you will just die suddenly without enjoying the money you even went for. So tell me, what is the need when you cannot even live for a while to enjoy the money? And those of you young boys who have already exchanged their lives with money, those who signed to make a lot of money and die after 5 years or so, you know yourself wherever you are. I am very sorry for you because yours is even the worst. You have sold your soul to the devil. Even when you later die, there will be no rest for you. Your spirit will be floating around restlessly. Sometimes your spirit will be appearing to your people in dream and even in the physical forms in most cases. Mind you, so that you don't mortgage your soul to the devil because of money. Money is not everything.